I wonder what's on TV.
Hey. We're back. We're back. In hell. Some really scary place. Give me 1 second. I'm just posting my social media stuff. I just wanted to play 11 for a bit. These are IT, so I don't know. Looks like we're doing okay so far. I will put them in music and get a strike, but not a lot. I know.
Dirty enough for me to love.
Man, this goes. Oh, I'm fucking paralyzed. So. Bitch. Wait. Oh. Wait, no. That's not how Not do that way. That'll just take me back to the beginning. Oh, I'm an idiot. That girl around me. I don't know why I didn't see that the first time. Cast them all away. Out to be a good. How about you, Hellbound Warlock? Can't you stop what's happening? This is the cringiest Dream Theater song ever, according to Reddit. I love it. But I'm pretty cringe. Welcome to the Cringe Factory. James Lebree is on the stage. And he's about to say the corniest lyrics in the world, according to Reddit. Let me see if I remember the words. Look around. Where do you belong? Don't be afraid. You're not the only one. Don't let a day go by. Don't let it end. Don't let a day go by in doubt. The answer lies within. What? Level up, level up. Am I 90? Life is short, so learn from your mistake. and stand behind the cringe that you make. The cringe that you make. Face each day with both eyes open wide and try to heal. Uh-oh. Don't keep it all inside. Don't let a day go by. Don't let it end. Don't let a day go by without the answer lies within. You got the future on your side. Gonna be fine. I know whatever you decide, you're gonna shine. Ah, fucking my ducky. Hold on, I'll be right back. Don't let a day go by. Don't let it end. Don't let a day go by in doubt. You're ready to begin. Don't let a day go by in doubt. The answer lies within. Uh-oh. I forgot I have to fight NMs. What level are they? Can I solo them? I already got fucking... I might have to 2 hour. I have no spells, so I can't do shit with her, so what the fuck do I have? Goddamn thief, you don't have shit. I might have to run away. Get unslept, bitch. Ah, you little slut. Come on. Don't hurt me. I didn't mean to. Okay. I need trust. This is why this game is impossible. I mean, if I had a different job, I could probably solo those things. But not as a thief. Hey, are you still mad at me? That thing needs to go the fuck away. Where the... What the F? I thought hate just goes away when you zone back in. Maybe it's different for NMs?
Where'd they go? I'm ready to fight.
There they are. Hope I can still fight them. And get the fucking thing done. Yo, I'm here, asshole.
I got my friend.
My friends from Squaresoft. Someone please heal me.
I gave you life.
Tear down these walls for me. Oh shit, we aggroed that fucking tree.
He's mad.
Holding on. It's not too late for me. This is just anything from her eyes. Did I win? Hello! I applaud you on your galleon defeat of the beast. I seem to have underestimated your strength. I did not want to do this. You saw with your own ease the Orc's secret weapon in the Grotto. If these beasts were to get their hands on Lightbringer, they could combine the two to create a weapon more powerful than the one that destroyed my homeland. The elemental barrier I set was to prevent Lightbringer from carrying swing into the hands of the Orc. But if you did not even realize that, then you are no better than those quarreled princes. Wait. Sheath your sword. Why must more blood be shed? I remember you. So off again. You have been trying to help us into the Ogla family. What is it? What is it? That is of your concern. Larger man, go and check on the other mediums. Leave these two to me. I wish I could do that in real life. teleport wherever the fuck I want. Using force to make it a point will only result more force if you wish. I can act as mediator between you and the royal family. This is not an issue that can be resolved over Sandorian tea and crumpets, as long as Lightbringer is there and in their hand. Why is Lightbringer so important to you? What are you planning to do with it? Follow the organ and the rise of Tasnasia, if I am not mistaken. Who are you? We're members of the Sandoria Caves of blah 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 blah. I am pleased to make your acquaintance, dipshit. A few of these prisoners from Bostono Abrete promised their lives to exchange for their services as assassins for the kingdom. I had the rumors, but never thought that the organization truly existed. I am honored that the original family is finally becoming to take that seriously. Why? On whose orders have you been sent? I mean, the princess couldn't have done such a thing. We are undercover organizations and are not at liberty to reveal our secrets. However, we can tell you this. We have been sent here to bring back the head of that man, Rosh Wagner. No. How could he break our promise? I know not of that words that exchange. We are here to complete our mission, and then we will be on our way.
He pulls on my...
What the fuck did I just say? Gringy? The raging Gringy? Gingery? What? I don't know what you are talking about. If you wish to act foolishly, so be it. When we return, we will simply report to the princes that a rogue adventurer attempted to hamper our plane, so she was eliminated. I cannot believe that my brothers would utilize such a group of beings. Step aside, there will be no need to make such a report. No, I will not allow this. Do not say that. We do not warn you. Many a night it has been since I lost my rabbit root. I have tasted sweet warm blood.
Get fucked.
Oh shit. Let me go. Oh, only his armor remains. However, judging by the damage to it, we're certain that our friend will not be us much longer. You were out there a long time. 12.2 years. It is unfortunate that we do not have a body to take back to the princess, but they will have to be satisfied with the armor. Sorry, not your highness. I have no intention of informing anyone of what I was about here today. However, you could learn to act more like a princess and less like an adventurer if you wish to live. I could not help perform. I could not stop my brother. What were you trying to tell us? What secrets is Lightbringer hold for us? Or not? The Gera Leviathan. through all that may come and all that may go. I walk beside you. No. Head back to the chateau and check the Great Hall for the final cutscene. Wait. So afraid to die. I've come on the signs by the show. Should this be fight or flight? I don't know why I'm constantly so uptight. Oh, daggone. I have already read through components reports. The fact that Rogton's body has not turned up troubled me. However, I must commend you on your efforts. Commend you on your efforts in destroying the elemental barrier. As for the remaining details of what happened. Remaining details? Do not mock me, Daggett. You know quite well what I am speaking of. The existence of the Cadet was really must remain a national secret. The news of the organization will spread its years into the other nations. The Constitution would be great, and with our father as what? As secret. As ill as he is. My father is feeling much better now. He should be returning to his proper position on the throne shortly. The rights of succession are upon us. When the time comes, we will be once again hailing and following your services. You are dismissed. I see. What's becoming of your older sister? She has got herself up in our mother's garden. She must realize that what we are doing is for the good of the kingdom. Guyon, what is that troubles you? Good day. What if neither of us are worthy enough to draw forth light figure? Your petty worries and because of you, brother. They're not, as there are none more worthy than me. Goes there. And what? Why would Rook be here? Hello, is anyone around? Okay. Days, Cornelia. The orcs have made it this far. Not surprising, with the magical wall being destroyed. This forces us to change our plan. Why, you dirty scoundrel? Leave this place at once. You have no right being here. I apologize, Your Highness. However, I ask a moment of your time to talk. You wish to talk with me? Who are you? Yes, trapped in my phobia, possessed by anxiety. Run, try to hide all the while on this conflict delirium. No current missions, you say? So, do I go to... the next one, the Error of the Light, the one that I thought I had, but I did not, and I was going crazy? It's locked tight. Fucking bitch. Fucking... what? Leave the château. Oui, merci beaucoup. Parlez-vous espagnol? Cast myself open wide, reach inside, help yourself to all I have to give, and then you help yourself again. And then complain that you didn't like the way I put the knife in wrong. You didn't like the way my Blood spilled on your brand new clothes. What would you say if I walked away? Would you appreciate? But then it'd be too late, 'cause I can only take so much of your ungrateful ways. Everything is never enough. Sacrifice my life, neglect my kids and wife, all for you to be happy. All those sleepless nights and countless fights to give you more. And then you say, how dare that I didn't write you back. I must be too good for you. I only care about myself. What would you say if I walked away? Would you appreciate? But then it'd be too late, 'cause I can only take so much of your ungrateful ways. Everything is never enough. This is supposed to be a long cutscene, so I think I'm not going to just go speed read it. Destin. You say if I walked away, would you appreciate? But then it'd be too late, 'cause I can't only take so much of your ungrateful ways. Everything is never enough.
This has all the extraordinarily well-coordinated and devastating terrorist attacks. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. The government will hunt down those responsible.
Terrorism means striking terror into the hearts of people. That has been accomplished. Looking in awe, amazement, shock, and grief and anger at what they were seeing in front of them.
A billowing smoke rising. Good Lord. There was a cascade. There are no words. Fire. And we see this extraordinarily and frightening scene behind us. This is just a horrific scene and
There are times in our lives that are
just
life-changing, where your life can never be the same, and this appears certainly to be one of them.
Buzzing and Chelsea. Surprise of me coming home tonight. This is all and that is where we die. No. I'm gonna go make some tea in a second. Let's stream for a little bit longer.
I got in trouble at work.
For dumb shit, but it's my fault. I suck at sleeping. I'm always worrying about shit. I need to figure out how to sleep again. I need to get a... Oh, I got a doctor's appointment this week. I gotta get a fucking sleep study or some shit. Or I'm gonna die. Or have a stroke in my sleep or... It's all, you know, the gay stuff that happens when you die. And you don't want it to happen. Squire knows what I'm talking about. What? Oh, I gotta go to fan. Where the F is that? Teleport assistant. Who would wish this on our team? Bayans and Rise of the Villar, or I'll break the sacrifices. Not a loss. A mistake. In the time. Afraid. Critical time. Time to waste. I got those strokes, for heaven's sake. What the FEF? What the bumpy bump? What am I doing? Being a bitch. Being a loser ass. What the fuck am I talking about? What you talking about? Yo, smelly otter. What the fuck? I want to send some conflict, please, motherfucker.
Give me some.
No, I don't need that. No, thank you.
It's all going to hell and starts to decay. I'm gonna fart and it's gonna blow up the planet of Vanadil.
So let me go find a fucking fuck NPC. That will help me. Be a bitch. Yeah. What am I doing? The best of minds. This is where I want to go. No, that is not where I want to go. I want to go to the best of markets. C'est very complete. Yeah. Hey, it's the best Stream Theater song ever. Octahusa, what's it? Check me out. Love you. I gotta spin these fucking things here. I'm about to cap out. Max out.
Bring me to encounter area, why don't you?
Where am I going, fan? 180 double dollars. Oh shit. I'm already getting the cutscene. Let us form a V for our favorite movie, V for Vendetta. Hooray! This was a good gathering of the V for Vendetta club. Yes, it was. I enjoyed it quite well. I cannot wait for the next one.
Perhaps we could have it in the Valkyrie Dunes. It's closer to where I live.
Maybe we'll have to wait to vote for that.
I hope you say. Well, perhaps later. I don't feel like it right now.
Then later we will go to a vote, whether here for the Valkyrie Dunes. Dismissed. The Valkyrie Dunes is kind of ghetto. I don't really want to go there. I'd rather stay here. It's much more desolate. Less crime. I will not sway either way. But I agree. Do not be foolish. You are being oppressive. I'm not. Bye. Pick a shell instead of a protect. Dumbass. Take care. Bye-bye. See you later. Fuck my butt. What the fuck am I talking about? Goddamn. Did I get a cutscene? Did I get a cutscene? I got a cutscene. I got a cutscene. Make your way to the What? Kubia Arena? For a fight? Where the fuck is that? God damn it. Mother effing bitch. Stupid face. Slut bag. Cock and balls. Is it in here? If it is. Whistle. I think it's here. I just don't know how to fucking get there. Oh shit. What's the quickest way to this stupid fucking thing? Let me see if I can just fucking... An NPC could tell over there. Good. Dominic? Wanted to become someone like him. So secure. Wait, did I buy a warp scroll? Ah! Wait, I got a fucking guide. Wait, no I don't. Ah! This was... Wait, how did I get here? Oh, I got Unity warped. Far beyond what I could see.
So I swore that I'd never be someone like him.
Yeah, I already use it.
So
So many years have passed since I proclaimed my independence, my mission, my aim, and my vision so secure. Content to live each day like it's my last. It's wonderful to know that I could be something more than what I dreamed. Far beyond what I could see. Still I swear that kissing of this time, as far as I could tell. There's nothing more I need. Until I ask myself, could this be everything? That all I want, that I would never be without. So suddenly, I guess I could use my fucking hold them right. To be someone just like him. A doctor sitting next to me. He asked me how I feel. I'm not sure I understand his questioning. He says I've been away a while. He thinks he has cured me. And I'm afraid I've catatonics for 30 years. Where have I been? Eyes open but not getting through to medicate me, infiltrate me. Side effects appear as my conscience slips away. Medicate me. Science failing, conscience fading fast. Can't you stop what's happening? A type dose she prescribes, but there's no guarantee. I feel it starting to take over me. Tell him not to be ashamed. There's no one who's to blame. A second shot of grief, awakening. I feel the relapse can't break free. Eyes open but not getting through to medicate me and filtrate me. Side effects appear as my conscience slips away. Medicate me. Science failing. Conscience fading fast. Can't you stop what's happening?
Sailing on the seven seas, that day tripper. DM's ready to
Jack the Ripper, Owens Wilson.
Phillips and my supper's ready.
You see in the sky with diamonds, they're not here.
Come to save that day for nightmare. Said I'm not sure neither way to get back home again. Spinning round and round. Spring without a sound. Stumbling all around. Find I've come full circle. Flying off the handle with careful with that axe. Eugene, the dance machine
Fire, light my fire, gamma can.
my generation.
Racing so my game. Spinning round and round. Spring without a sound.
Stumbling all around. Find I've come full circle.
I'll take it. You can buy the warp puzzle. Thank you. I needed one really bad. So now I can just... It only has 30 charges, but I can warp anytime now. Without needing a warp scroll. Oops. There's the light. Where do I go? Oh, wait.
You're not all the way.
Fuck my fucking... I don't even know. Oh, Dominic. Ma ha 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 ha. Upper, lowered, you know. I don't know that. They don't.
I deadly sense feel his mortal wrath. All obstacles from our path. Ask questions, search for truth. The answer's been right in front of you. Try to bring truth, long to connect. While in deaf ears with fail muted breath. Loyalty, trust, and faith and desire. Fearless love will use darkest fire. Tortured insanity, smothering hell. Try to escape, but to no avail. Calls to admirers who claim they adore. Drain all your life blood while begging for more. Innocent victims of merciless crimes, while played as a madman's compulsive design. Step by the step, driving forward, have faith. When you finally start living, it becomes too late. Trapped inside this octavarium. Trapped inside this octavarium. Trapped inside this octavarium. Trapped inside this octavarium.
Where are you, Devin? Darcy, Dominic, I mean. Maybe over here. Oh. We move in circles, balance all the while on a dreamy faces a perfect sphere colliding with our fate. The story ends where we began. Can't you stop what's happening? We defeated it. Hooray! Warlord, you suck.
Meet me for dinner.
What the fuck?
Another fight. Oh my lord.
Let's go. Do I have to keep him alive? Try on? I can't. I don't have any healing. Will you engage, you little bitch? I'm looking up at him like a motherfucking dumbass. That's how racing. Kill him. Wait, he has invincible? No. Get there, it's back. Do I need magic? I hope I don't. Yeah, get this, that.
Even though she seems so high, knows that she can fly. And when she falls out of the sky,
She'll be standing.
she was raised in a small
We won.
western town by a charming and eccentric loving father. She was praised as the perfect teenage girl, and everyone thought highly of her.
Haha.
She cried every day with endless drive to make her grade. Then one day she woke up to find the perfect girl lost her mind.
Once barely taking a break. Now she sleeps the days away.
Helplessly stands by. It's meaningless to try, and all she wants to do is cry. No one ever knew she was so sad. 'Cause even though she gets so high, and thinks that she can fly, she will fall out of the sky. But in the face of misery, she
I gotta head back to the ghetto. Oh, another cutscene. I'm gonna find another Dream Theater. Alright, I gotta go to King Rampier's tomb now, I think. Where the hell is that? Is it over in... Oh wait, do I gotta use a... Whatchamacallit? Let me go over here. Choir, old buddy, you're still here. Up and away! This is classic Dream Theater before James LaBrie. Sounds very 80s metal. Where's AJ? I like that song.
Back. Hello, hello, blah. Go back to the hotel and see the housing. Let's go. I should set my home point to one next to the survival head. Hey, I'll be RB. I gotta do something more. I'm gonna do what I did the other day. And I'm just gonna leave my stream on, and I'll be right back. Probably in about 15-20 minutes. I'll play something. That I'm still here. But, yeah, I'll play something. I'll be RB.
Character having dedicated cutscenes during each of their arcade runs. In DOA 2, the story begins with a great leader named Fame Douglas being killed. As the main sponsor for the Dead or Alive World Combat Championships, the tournament was thought to be over. Yet a second tournament was mysteriously announced by a new evil sponsor. During this time, the evil Tengu, a magical demon from Japanese folklore named Gohyakume Bankotsubo, escaped the Tengu world and appeared to threaten all of humanity. thus setting the stage for each character's journey in this game to take place, with many crossing paths with each other over personal matters.
あなたはいつもヒロインだった。
Other than the story mode, the game had survival, time attack, team battle, and tag modes, rivaling Tekken Tag Tournament at the time, which newly released with Sony's brand new console. I really loved the tag mode in this game too. It was much faster to switch out with your tag partner mid-combo, which kept the gameplay fast-paced. Similarly to how I went through each and every character's moveset to see all the amazing animations they had, I did the same to find each and every unique tag throw animation certain pairings had in the game. These were so fun to pull off and watch mid-fight. A few months after the Dreamcast version, DOA 2 was released on the PlayStation 2 as a launch title in Japan and North America. Although this initial version was rushed and was not as easy to develop as the Dreamcast version, which shared similar hardware as the arcade cabinets at the time. This caused the initial PS2 version to feature several bugs, and the game appeared to be much more aliased than the Dreamcast version, which, in layman's terms, meant there were a lot more jagged edges around everything. The poor state of this version due to the pressure from the higher-ups almost made Itagaki quit developing altogether.
One day, the sales general manager came to me and said like this, "Can I borrow a copy of this so that I can play a little?" I said, "Sure, yeah, go on." And I handed him the disc, which was still under development. But the disc was never played by them. But instead, it was taken into a factory of production on that day without me knowing it.
There were several editions of the home releases of DOA 2 that featured all kinds of additional content across them, from new costumes, stages, cutscenes, and secret characters, to even new game modes, and eventually online play for the Japanese Dreamcast version, which came in two different editions, one being the regular release and the other known as the limited edition. The limited edition Dreamcast version definitely was the best in my opinion, with its superior graphics and wide range of costumes. However, I do have a soft spot for my European copy of the PS2 version despite its graphical shortcomings. In other regions, this game was called DOA 2 Hardcore, and was the final version of DOA 2 released after the limited edition Dreamcast version, featuring most of the same things in that game, with its own exclusive additions like having even more costumes and extra cutscenes during story mode, with all of them running at 60 frames per second this time. The 3 exclusive stages in this version were also some of my favorites in DOA 2 in general, especially the dojo. DOA 2 Hardcore was Itagaki's second chance to make a PS2 version, after getting over the turmoil he felt after being forced to release the first version. You could really tell he meant to fix things after the amount of content he added in again. However, neither the arcade, Dreamcast, or PS2 would see the best version of the game, as later on the game would be released in its most complete state on another console, which became the new home for the Dead or Alive series for many years to come.
Winner!
The program around this thing is really quite phenomenal. But the box itself...
After the critically acclaimed Dead or Alive 2, Team Ninja soon began development on a sequel, in hopes to capitalize on the series' newfound popularity amongst players. Around this time, Microsoft approached the studio, offering them a deal to bring Dead or Alive exclusively to their upcoming brand new console, the Xbox. Tomonobu Itagaki saw this as an excellent opportunity, as he always strived to utilize the most powerful hardware available to make the best Dead or Alive games possible. The Xbox was exactly the system for that philosophy. He also stated that it was much easier to develop a game for just one console, and that the Xbox's development environment was as convenient as the Dreamcast's, with the PS2's being the most difficult. This also led to Team Ninja eventually skipping out on an arcade release for the game, to purely focus on the Xbox, which might not have been the best idea in terms of building an audience at the time. In 2001, Dead or Alive 3 was announced in Japan, but was eventually released first in North America to line up with the release of the American Xbox launch. I have very fond memories of playing Dead or Alive 3. I never owned the game or an Xbox myself, but I would always play the game at a family friend's house, where we would usually go head to head in a round robin like setting, since there were usually a lot of us around whenever I was over there. It was so cool seeing the updated graphics and costumes of characters from my Dreamcast version of DOA 2, as well as the brand new, more expansive stages introduced in DOA 3 that the Xbox made possible. Dead or Alive 3 introduced 4 new playable characters, with most of the characters from DOA 2 returning, except for the secret unlockable character Tengu. These new characters were Christy, Brad Wong, Hitomi, and Hayate, who was revealed to be Ain's real identity at the end of his arcade mode run in DOA 2. This meant his moveset was changed completely to accommodate for the fact that he was a ninja of the Mugen Tenshin clan. Luckily, Ain was an unlockable character, and the only one at that for this game, but a lot of Ain's moves were given to Hitomi, as they shared a common karate background. Gameplay wise, this felt right at home moving in from DOA 2, with the game not feeling much different in general from its prequel, outside faster movement speed. The approach to this game in general was to make it easier and more accessible to newcomers, through soft changes like increased active frames on holds, immediate attacks on switching in tag battles, and stage falls causing KOs when players were low on health. The real changes came more so in the Japanese and European versions of the game, dubbed Dead or Alive 3.1 and 3.2 respectively. The Japanese version of the game initially had 50 new attacks in total for characters, and enhanced the CPU, along with modifying the properties of attacks, and upgrading the free-step movement to be much more evasive. This was adjusted again in the European version, scaling back the evasiveness and adjusting the balance once more. In true DOA fashion so far, these new versions came with all kinds of new costumes for each character, adding to the flair of the stellar visuals. The story mode played the same way it did in DOA 2, with the final boss this time being Genra, Ayane's foster father in his Omega form after being experimented on by the new shadow leader of the Doatech organization. This fight was a weird one, as this all had to be done from a third-person perspective, which felt so strange to do in a fighting game. I see the vision, but the execution wasn't all there in the end. It could easily be seen as a misstep to have Dead or Alive 3 as an exclusive game to the Xbox, but the game went on to be the best-selling game in the entire series so far, selling over 1 million copies in the first 5 months of its release and 2 million copies worldwide. This was in no doubt due to the hype of the newly released Xbox and Microsoft's heavy marketing, but the game was critically acclaimed, mainly for its ease of use and very impressive graphics.
そう理屈なんかじゃない
そうだ
However, it wasn't all great, as in Japan, the game didn't sell as well as Microsoft's Japanese division had hoped, only being able to move 180,000 copies out of the projected 500,000 initially. The excess copies sent over to the Japanese retailers started to pile up, causing stores to put the game on sale for as low as 300 yen, which was around $3 at the time, just a month after the game's release. Itagaki expressed how sad and frustrated this made him, as he imagined when gamers saw a game going for that cheap, it must be something terrible and not worth playing, which was very unfortunate seeing how good this game actually was. Even playing this game now, in 2024, was still plenty of fun, and holds up as an expansion of what DOA 2 started for the series. It didn't end here, however, as not long after, Team Ninja won up this game with a particular remaster that is considered by many as the best game in the entire series. 2004 was a great year, as it brought the remastered versions of the original DOA and DOA 2 to the Xbox. Having access to the original DOA game again was great, but the main attraction to this collection was the brand new version of Dead or Alive 2, dubbed the most complete version of the game by Itagaki himself. I never got the chance to try this version of Dead or Alive 2 back then, as I didn't own an Xbox, but playing this game now through my Xbox 360, I was shocked at just how amazing this game really is. It takes every single thing from Dead or Alive 2 that I love, from the fast-paced gameplay, animations, and graphics, and pushes them to the absolute limit. Even now, I'm still blown away at how good this game from 20 years ago looks in motion. Gameplay wise, despite looking closer to DOA 3 on the outside, it very much feels like DOA 2, keeping a lot of the rules that game set and changing back mid holds to being back and hold for mid punches and forward plus hold for mid kicks. The game is noticeably much harder coming from DOA 3, with the CPU performing way more well-timed holds, forcing you to stagger your blows much more to bait out and punish their holds with well-timed throws. I felt the increased difficulty slowly molded me into a better DOA player in general. This new version of the game was everything fans of the original versions from a few years ago would have wanted, including all the bonus content from each and every edition of the game, from arcades to the Dreamcast and PS2, all wrapped up in one beautiful new package. Hitomi from DOA 3 was also added to the roster here, which was a welcome addition. I would love to keep playing this version online, if there was some rollback reverse engineered into it, or even a remaster of this game on current consoles. But for now, I'm still having fun playing the Dreamcast version of Dead or Alive 2 on FightKit.
Now at its core, Xbox 360 is a great game console. And Itagaki-san and Tecmo have always been at the forefront of delivering what a platform can deliver and what great games can achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, Dead or Alive 4, exclusively on Xbox 360.
In 2005, Microsoft unveiled their brand new console, the Xbox 360. And with the partnership still intact between Team Ninja and Microsoft, Dead or Alive 4 would become the first ever exclusive fighting game released on the console, and the first fighting game for the new generation. It was released a month after the console's release in Japan, and later on in 2006 for the rest of the world. Again, as we've seen with DOA games up until this point, the game was beautiful and vibrant, utilizing the power of the Xbox 360 to become the first ever fighting game to support 16:9 HD display, alongside having even more dynamic and expansive stages, introducing moving stage hazards this time, and the ability to leap over obstacles mid-fight. I had a lot of fun playing this one, as I felt it perfectly grasped the blend of high-octane action from DOA 3 and the level of difficulty when it came to the triangle system from DOA 2. The game also introduced the bounce system, where you could use certain moves to literally bounce your opponent off the ground to continue juggling them. Juggle combos did exist in previous games, but here it became much more of a useful thing to pull off in a match, as you could dish out a lot of damage. Lastly, interactions with opponents on the ground were also reworked here. In DOA 4, skilled players could make it hard for you to get up from the ground due to the series of attacks they could land on you if you didn't immediately wake up if you had the chance. Also, coupled with the shorter active window for holds and the introduction of unholdable moves, this made DOA 4 arguably one of the hardest games in the franchise to play, with some players also stating it was very unbalanced for competitive play. Even against the CPU, I had a hard time, especially against Alpha 152, the game's final boss. As characters go, everyone returned from Dead or Alive 3, with a few new characters added to the roster. These new characters were La Mariposa, Elliot, and Kokoro. Unlike previous games though, you had to unlock quite a few characters, with Helena only being available after beating the story mode with every other character. This game also became the second in the franchise to feature a guest character, although not in the same way Hayabusa was integrated into the overall story.
Leave now. There's nothing up here for you but a shortcut to hell.
The guest this time was a never-before-seen Spartan from the Halo series, which makes a lot of sense with this game being exclusive to the Xbox 360. That was a huge guest character to have at the time, as Halo was in the peak of its popularity back then. I remember trying this game out around the time I had a 360, and although it was a while since I had played a game from the franchise, it still gave me that nostalgic feeling with the systems from DOA 2 still coming through in one way or another from the brief time I played. Playing this game now, I'm really having fun with Hitomi, Ryu, Ain, and Kasumi, especially Kasumi, as she was a character I remembered some moves from way back in the old DOA 2 days, but never stuck with.
Yoooo, 見事。ほらよ。
When it comes to story, it's hard to really describe where each character stands in it, as you're either fighting to take down Doatek with your fellow ninjas, or fighting over a juicy looking cabbage you found at a market.
Oji-san! Kore makete yo! Makete, makete! Nee, kore itadaku wa? Chotto, watashi ga senkyaku yo!
Regardless, it's an extremely fun game that was well received all around, selling over 1 million copies by the midpoint of 2006. The game also led a pretty decent competitive scene in both Europe and North America, comprised of passionate players coming from previous games. It became the first ever DOA to be featured on the main stage at EVO, the current biggest fighting game tournament in the world, and seemed to have garnered a lot of hype at the time, even showing up on DirecTV's tournament, the Championship Gaming Series, which was broadcasted live on TV.
Swoozy's very focused and he needs to pull out all stops.
With online play also available at the boom of multiplayer gaming across Xbox Live with the 360, and improved netcode from DOA Ultimate, many players got to experience the exhilarating gameplay DOA 4 offered. Coupled with the beautiful visuals, this game is a pleasure to play even now. Despite the fact that I would still choose DOA 2 Ultimate as my go-to for the older games, this was yet another very solid entry to the series. Unfortunately, despite all the success, things behind the scenes at Tecmo were not going well, causing Itagaki to apparently leave the company in 2008 and file a lawsuit over his bonus not being paid. In 2010, the lawsuit between Itagaki and Tecmo was settled, but Itagaki mentioned in a statement that the dispute was over compensation for his dismissal, meaning he was actually fired back then in 2008 before he could even leave. It's unclear who the real problem at Tecmo was during Itagaki's entire career at the company, but there were allegations on both sides. This seemed to be the point where things started to change a lot more for the series, in both the general public and with a lot of long-time DOA fans. However, the reasons for this may not be as clear as it may seem. Moving on to 2012, Dead or Alive 5 was the next game in line for the series. From the first look, it went for a more realistic aesthetic with a darker, more gritty tone. Looking over at a lot of the early trailers for the game, Team Ninja really tried to emphasize the fighting mechanics and extremely explosive action, with brand new moves that caused short cinematic pauses mid-fight, and even crazier stage hazards and transitions. This was the first DOA without Itagaki, led by a new producer, Yosuke Hayashi, and after seeing him play in the game, you can definitely tell, as he and the team built the engine for this game entirely from scratch. It's a weird situation here, because I wouldn't say Itagaki's absence led this game to be subpar. In fact, I and many others have great things to say about this game overall, but I'll come back to that later.
Yoooo. ほらよ。
なんですの?
According to Hayashi, the approach for this game was to tone down the sexual elements the franchise is known for, and head in a completely new direction, focusing more on each character's personality more than their beauty, in an attempt to make them more appealing to the majority of players. Yohei Shimbori, one of the directors of the game, and one of the original lead designers for DOA 4, also mentioned in an interview that the team was told to tone down the fan service from overseas offices, essentially backing their vision for the new game. However, this new idea would come to a crashing halt after player feedback came in from the alpha demo released with copies of Ninja Gaiden 3. Shimbori claimed players demanded for the busts of characters to be bigger, disappointed that the game they loved was straying away from what it was well known for. It was a surprise to him, but it goes to show where some of the players' importance lied with the series. In response to the complaints, the team decided to completely do a 180 on their original plans, and went ahead with adding the fan service the fans requested in the biggest, most bodacious way the series had seen yet.
さっさと飲みな。試してやるよ。坊や。
Despite the demand for the fan service, Yosuke and the rest of the team didn't forget about making a mechanically rich fighting game that could satisfy hardcore fans of the game who gave it a try.
10年早いんだよ。
Yep, that's Akira from Virtual Fighter. In a crazy turn of events, DOA 5 featured several characters from that franchise, those being Akira Yuki, Pai-chan, and Sarah Bryant. This was a really big thing for DOA, seeing as Itagaki and probably most of the team were major fans of the series, and DOA was initially designed in very similar ways to Virtual Fighter 2 back in 1996. As cool as it was, I'm not too sure of the impact this collaboration made, as by this time, these two series were already settled as very niche fighting games, with Sega only releasing new iterations of VF5 every so often for many years now. Mind you, Virtual Fighter 5 originally released in 2006. Also, some good news arrived recently during the making of this video. Virtual Fighter had been announced to be getting a brand new game, with another new version of VF5 revealed to be coming soon too. It's great to see another 3D fighting game, especially one as legendary as Virtual Fighter, making its way back. As well as the 3 guest characters, DOA 5 introduced 3 original characters to the game: Mila, Rig, and the boss character from the last game, Alpha 152. This brought the total of new characters to 6, the largest amount added to a new DOA game in the franchise's history. I thought all these new additions were great, offering a wide range of different fighting styles for players to have fun with, just like with the older titles. DOA 5 was also the first game post the Xbox partnership, with the game releasing on the PlayStation 3 as well as the Xbox 360. Somehow they managed to push the graphics even further, delivering beautifully rendered character models and stages, as well as adding things like visible sweat on characters. But the game did suffer slightly from a lack of color and vibrant lighting, something I did miss going into this game straight from DOA 4. The game also introduced an all-new cinematic story mode, the first ever to feature in a DOA game. Continuing 2 years after the events of the story you could piece together through the endings of DOA 4, the game took us as the player through many different character-specific routes, detailing what they were all up to during the events of the 5th Dead or Alive tournament. It was nothing amazing, but I did have fun with it, especially with the funny interactions between characters through most of the campaign, and then ending off with some more serious, epic cutscenes, especially involving Kasumi and the other ninjas. In terms of the gameplay, DOA 5 introduced a few new interesting mechanics to shake up the gameplay from previous titles, with a very big focus on cinematics during fights to make for a more dynamic viewing experience. To start off, Power Blow was a new mechanic that exemplified the emphasis on the visuals, with the attack initiating a cool cinematic that ends with blowing your opponent away if you landed the attack with less than 50% health. Blowing your opponent across the stage was also a little different this time, as characters could now hang onto ledges instead of being completely thrown off, allowing them to avoid further damage if they anticipate how their opponent decides to throw them off. The critical hit system was also revamped here. Once you got your opponent to the highest amount of stun before they fell over, players could perform a critical burst, which completely dazed the opponent, removing the ability for them to even use holds. This new state made it a lot more dangerous for defending players who didn't quickly make good reads on their opponent's mix-ups often, whether through holds or just blocking correctly initially. This was a cool idea that added another layer to your options during combat. The game featured the usual game mode seen in every other game, with an improved online mode from DOA 4, albeit still not that great since it uses a delay-based netcode. As players would soon find out, this would just be the first version of DOA 5, as Koei Tecmo released several versions of the game as time went on. The first new version was more like a port than anything, with it being a version of DOA 5 for the PlayStation Vita, Sony's brand new successor to the PSP. I've put a few hours into playing this version, and I have to say, I was really impressed. The graphics had been toned down to play on the weaker hardware, but the look and feel of the game was still very present in this smaller package. It offered everything the original game on home consoles had, but also added a first-person fighting mode, where you could use the touchscreen to attack your opponent through taps and swipes instead of button presses, while also being able to take screenshots. I wonder what that was for. Moving on to 2013, an updated version of the game arrived on both the PS3 and Xbox 360 as an expansion, named Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. Co-director Yohei Shimbori claimed that this version of the game was a reflection of all the feedback given to Team Ninja from fans all around the world. He stood true to his word, as DOA 5 Ultimate featured a massive host of changes from the original game, such as reworking the online netcode, a complete character balance overhaul, a brand new fighting mechanic called Power Launcher, training modes from DOA Plus, a completely reworked tag mode to allow for more competitive play and 2v2 online fights, a jukebox mode where you could play music from older games, and more than double the amount of costumes from the original game, with a lot of the DLC costumes being ones you can simply unlock through playing the game. Over the course of the game's lifespan, many characters were added too, starting off with several new or redesigned playable characters, as well as a couple returning ones. These characters were Nyotengu, Phase 4, Marie Rose, Leon, and Ain. Joining Hayabusa, two more Ninja Gaiden characters were introduced also, Momiji and Rachel, and to top it all off, another Virtual Fighter guest was added, Jackie Bryan, Sarah's older brother, who you may have seen before on social media. Alongside this game, a free-to-play version was also released, named Dead or Alive 5 Core Fighters. Oddly enough, this was only released on the PlayStation Store at the time. This was a stripped-down version of the game with only 4 playable characters, but players were free to play most of the modes available in the full version as much as they liked, and were given the opportunity to buy specific characters they wanted to play as well as the option to buy the story modes separately. It was a better deal to buy the entire game, but the option was there to save money at least, and it was a good way to allow people to try out DOA if they had never played it before. Speaking of money, although this game brought along a wealth of content, it did initiate the ongoing issue of Koei Tecmo's excessive use of microtransactions. You're not forced to buy any of it, and it is purely cosmetic, but it got quite expensive very quickly. Finally, in 2015, the last version of Dead or Alive 5, appropriately named The Last Round, was released. This version of the game released on PC and crossed over into the next generation, arriving on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as well as returning to the PS3 and 360. The next gen and PC versions came with various graphical updates and a boost to resolution, now running at 1080p 60 frames per second. Team Ninja also added the Soft Engine, which was designed to bring an even softer look to the characters' bodies. Yeah, seriously. Like with all new versions of DOA games, this version again came with a few new characters over the course of its lifespan. Honoka was a brand new DOA character who wielded a mysterious power on top of being able to use a lot of moves from other characters in the game. Raido, presumed to be killed in the first Dead or Alive game, returned here as a revived cyborg, obsessed with fighting and stealing techniques. To add to the original characters, Team Ninja again went to Koei Tecmo to include another guest character in their game, this time pulling over Naotora Lee from the Samurai Warrior series. Admittedly, I knew nothing about this character, but her over-the-top acrobatic moves made her a fun character to watch and play around with. The last DLC character here really set things alight, as Team Ninja managed to strike a deal with the people over at SNK to include one of the most iconic characters from the King of Fighters series, Mai Shiranui, and they did an amazing job at recreating her in 3D, just for this game. Unfortunately, as of September 11th, 2019, she was no longer available to purchase, along with several other collaboration costumes and stages, including the likes of Attack on Titan, Arc System Works' main IPs Guilty Gear and BlazBlue, and Senran Kagura, leaving late adopters to the game out of luck. With a robust technical fighting system and a massive cast of characters, this made DOA 5 last round yet another great game in the franchise, and to a lot of people, it's considered the best. All the versions of the game combined sold over 1.5 million copies, with the free-to-play versions gaining over 12 million downloads. Although these were good numbers, especially with the free-to-play downloads, the sales showed the popularity of DOA had decreased, seeing as DOA 3 sold over 2 million copies and DOA 4 managed around 1.2 million sales, both with just a single iteration of the game. Despite all the good work put into the game by Team Ninja, they couldn't shake their reputation of being a fan service first game, instead of a deep fighter with other appeals on the side. Very early on with the first version, many gaming outlets and players complained about the over-sexualization of the female cast in particular. This wasn't new for the series as we've seen, but it seemed to be a much bigger complaint with this game. It got to the point where tournament organizers even decided to ban specific costumes from being used in their tournaments due to their revealing nature, which really didn't help the game's popularity in the FGC either. Dead or Alive by this point just wasn't taken seriously, and as a result, the depth of the game was overlooked, and it disappeared further into the niche market. But not everyone was pleased with the nature of the new mechanics introduced in DOA 5. You could call it jealousy for not being involved anymore, but this is what the original creator, Tomonobu Itagaki, had to say. It is almost impossible to attract new players with the way the game plays now. Look back at the older DOAs. When a newcomer tries out the game for the first time, his first instinct is to just press buttons randomly. But those button presses usually lead to some very visually pleasing moves, and even at some points lead to that beginner's first victory. When a new player experiences this, in his mind he would think, hey, I think I can play this game, and would start to play it more and maybe even attract more players to play it. When you compare this to the state DOA 5 is in, a newcomer has virtually no chance at all. The technical gap is so huge to the point that the game will feel too awkward, and this newcomer will never be able to play effectively or ever get a win. A game like that would never sell. This is why they thought they could overcome this by making the game more erotic and milk you loyal players all out of your money with erotic DLC. It's disgusting. I don't believe newer players have no chance at all to catch up to others in DOA 5, as matches flow in a way that make you feel like you can do something eventually, without having to stop completely and lab how certain things work in order to even put up a challenge, encouraging a natural growth overall from the player, even if the game is hard. I definitely agree with his take on the overtuning of the erotic nature of the game and DLC practices though. And it's crazy because I think there are so many cool, fun, and reasonably sexy costumes packed into this game. Itagaki himself made steps to regulate the erotic nature of DOA, leading him to create a completely different series of games under the franchise, inadvertently dividing the fan base, or possibly creating a new one altogether. This takes us over a decade back in time from this point, to 2004, where it all began. If you weren't already aware, fighters weren't the only genre of games released under this franchise. In 2004, on the original Xbox, Dead or Alive Extreme was released, which was a game centered entirely around playing minigames on the beach with the entire female cast of Dead or Alive 3. I would like to read another quote from Itagaki made in 2015, as I think it perfectly encapsulates why he decided to make this series. Everybody's a little perverted, even I'm a little perverted, but it was for that very reason I created Dead or Alive Extreme, in order to target the people who wanted something a little bit more casual and sexy, but at the same time keeping that tone separate from the fighting game that is DOA. As Itagaki said, this game was purely made for fan service, extending what was in the fighting games into something completely new, with the license to be a bit more excessive, hence the name Extreme. I never personally bought or engaged in these Extreme games, as I only cared for the amazing fighting game, and although I didn't come to the game looking for it initially, I think the fighting games have more than enough fan service. Despite this though, Extreme made a lot of money for the series, and I'm sure in one way or another it helped retain Tecmo's interest in making sequels for both sides of the franchise. So for that, these games are fine by me. I went back and tried the first two games on the original Xbox and the 360, and I would be lying if I said I didn't have fun with them both. The volleyball matches the whole game revolved around were actually really challenging at first, and got fun once I got the hang of what types of attacks and receives to use, and timings for powerful spikes. Maybe that's just the competitor side of me that wouldn't stop until I started winning, but I honestly felt like the minigame was decently made. The rest of the game had you going around the island earning money in various different ways, in order to buy gifts to give the other girls in an attempt to convince them to be your volleyball partner. Outside of some ridiculous scenes, I'd say this was a pretty decent gameplay loop to mess around with. Don't get me started on the casino too, that was a slippery slope. To compare, I tried out the trial version of Extreme 3 on the Nintendo Switch, which for the most part was an upgrade from everything in the original, with some new minigames thrown in there that really lent into the fan servicey concept of the game. They even added Owner Mode, which was a mode where you would act as the owner of the island to essentially watch over and take pictures of the girls while they're doing various things. In my opinion, that additional mode took the game from some harmless fun similar to the original to a level of perversion I'm not interested in. The volleyball game was still as fun as always though, but apparently Extreme 3 left out the jet ski minigame that people were fans of from the second game on the Xbox 360, which was a shame. It was something the original creator Itagaki himself was very proud of making too. But of course, with his departure of the company after DOA 4, a new team took over both the fighting games and the Extreme series, and this game was another example on how quickly things can change after a lead producer of the series leaves.
よかったら一緒に遊びませんか？
そうじゃのう。わらわと組もうなど図が高いわ。
ひどい。
The most shocking revelation to me though was that the Extreme series is very much alive, with the most up-to-date version being a free-to-play live service gacha game called Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation, only available in Asia. You can find up to 3,000 people playing this game on any given day on PC, light years ahead of the amount of people playing Dead or Alive 5 online, and probably every other DOA game combined. During the making of this video, a new Venus Vacation game was also announced, called Venus Vacation Prism, again only to be released in Japan and the rest of Asia. These games created an entirely new fandom for the Dead or Alive franchise, and where some players adopted both the fighting game and this one together, a lot of players sat on either side of the fence. The Extreme series isn't the only spin-off title from Dead or Alive that exists though, as there were several other games to capitalize on some of the success of the fighting games. Dead or Alive Dimensions was one of those titles, released on the 3DS a few years after the release of DOA 4. This game ran on similar framework to DOA 4 and had a unique mechanic involving the touchscreen, where you could press on moves and strings from your character's move list and they would do the exact command. It's my first time seeing this mechanic, and it seems like a good way to help casual players use a wide range of attacks in a fight, without having to memorize much of anything. What really impressed me about this game though, was its surprising amount of content, to the point where I would consider this a pseudo mainline title in the series. The story mode chronicles the events that happened from the first DOA all the way to DOA 4, filling in the gaps in the story within those games to better tie everything together in a more cinematic fashion. This is genuinely the best way to experience the story of all 4 games, and for people new to this series, it also teaches the concepts of Dead or Alive's core gameplay along the way. On top of the story mode, it featured all the modes seen in other mainline DOA games, with a unique twist to the tag mode, having your tag partner controlled by AI instead, where you could choose to tag yourself in or react to timely button prompts to perform your tag throws. It even featured online battles, although I'm not too sure how the netcode would have held up. Regardless, this is a must play for anyone who casually wanted to get into DOA through the story, and for current fans who want to see some of their favorite characters from the series get even more shine. Next up, there was Dead or Alive Online, a Microsoft exclusive port of Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate, originally released as a beta in China in 2008, but never saw the light of day in the West after being closed down completely in 2010. There was also a blackjack game for iOS released in 2009, which was an extension of the blackjack minigame from the Extreme games, but this game didn't last long, as its sales were halted just a year later. Speaking of Extreme, Dead or Alive Paradise was released on the PSP, being a direct port of the Xbox 360 game, DOA Extreme 2. And lastly, another Chinese-made game, Dead or Alive 5 Infinite, and its extremely similar Hong Kong counterpart, Dead or Alive 5M, were turn-based RPGs released on mobile in those countries alone. I can't say much about this one, but it doesn't look like something I'd be very interested to try. Believe it or not, there was even a live-action movie made based off the game. As for my thoughts on it, well, it certainly was a movie, but it did make me laugh quite a few times. Probably wasn't the intention, but it gets a point for that at least. As well as the spin-offs in the series, there have been a great amount of crossovers with the franchise, usually adding Dead or Alive characters to particular games from Koei Tecmo's large library of IPs. These came in the form of either playable characters like Kasumi, Ayane, Hayabusa and Co. in Dynasty Warriors and Warriors Orochi games, or an ancient Nyotengu and ancestors of Ryu Hayabusa appearing as secret bosses in Nioh 2. Looking over it all, there really has been a lot of crossovers, as you can see, on both console and mobile games, with one of the biggest being a few of the DOA girls featuring in the very popular gacha game Azur, well known for its very particular character designs and artwork. Finally, the most notable crossover, of course, was with the rebooted Ninja Gaiden series, which released periodically alongside the Dead or Alive series, and was directed by Tomonobu Itagaki up until Ninja Gaiden 2. As I mentioned earlier, Ryu was initially a guest character in Dead or Alive at the beginning, but became a mainstay character immediately after, with Itagaki constantly crossing over characters between the two games. Ayane was introduced to Ninja Gaiden through the remastered version of the game, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, as a messenger to help guide Ryu. Later on in Dead or Alive 5, we'd see the introduction of Rachel and Momiji, friends of Ryu's who first appeared in Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword respectively. For the most part, I strongly feel like the mainline games have been great up until this point, and the sales of each of the titles so far even prove people have enjoyed them all to some degree. However, that would all change going into the most recent title, Dead or Alive 6. In 2019, Team Ninja released their brand new entry to the franchise, this time in hopes to branch out to new audiences. The new director and producer of the game at the time, Yohei Shimbori, claimed the concept of the game this time was intense fighting entertainment, which on the outside seemed to be the case, with the toned down fan service of the female character designs immediately shown through the poster girl of the game, Kasumi. At this point in time, I remember being so excited to see another DOA game that had a chance to blow up amongst the soft resurgence of fighting games at the time, especially with Tekken 7 doing extremely well, shining a spotlight on 3D fighting games.
Eris, I can't believe what I'm seeing.
The game was, and still is, beautiful, and although it didn't leap too far ahead of Dead or Alive 5 Last Round in terms of graphical fidelity and animations, the brighter lighting and more vibrant colors really made the game pop next to its predecessor, and it's still a very pretty game to look at today, especially with the PC version. That being said though, I still mostly prefer the character models in DOA 5 Last Round. The game also featured a very robust tutorial, better than any other DOA game before it, helping players understand the mechanics of DOA in a much easier way. The new mode DOA Quest also acts like a tutorial through giving players specific objectives during fights to complete. Two brand new DOA characters, Diego and Nico, were introduced at the start of the game. They both didn't appeal to me much from a design standpoint, but Diego was said to be designed as someone who could appeal to Western audiences. Over time, more characters were released as paid DLC, mainly returning from DOA 5, such as Phase 4, Momiji, Myotengu, Rachel, and Mai Shiranui, who is now only available in this game. Momiji ended up being the character I gravitated towards most in this game, as well as Lei Fang later on. This time, Team Ninja struck another deal with SNK, and brought another friend to accompany Mai, that being Cooler Diamond, another popular character from the KOF series. As for the story, it's more of what was in Dead or Alive 5, but this time split into separate timelines for most of the characters. It's not much of a big deal, but I did prefer the way things were structured in the last game more. As for the storyline itself, it was the same structure from the last, very silly with a bunch of fun, ridiculous interactions between characters, and then ending off with a bigger, more serious fight. The other downside to this game's story mode was its final boss, Raido, which wasn't interesting outside of him making the screen go black and reappearing anywhere on the stage. The story also ended so abruptly, leaving so many questions unanswered.
I'm back.
Hello. Yeah, I'm almost done.
Lastly, for the final DLC character before things went south, Tamaki was introduced, who was the first character to be crossed over from the Extreme series over to the fighting game. Recently I've been trying to play her, but she really never stuck the landing with me, especially in a game where there's such a variety of crazy, unique fighting styles. Very soon after the game released, Koei Tecmo announced a world tour for the game, backing their claims of making DOA more palatable to the esports scene, putting their money behind such a large-scale event. Looking at things from this angle, you would think the future was bright for Dead or Alive 6, but soon after players began playing the game, that would very quickly change. After starting up the game, it was clear to see that the game didn't have the largest of budgets for development, having even less characters than DOA 5 at launch. When it comes to the gameplay, the game was immediately met by criticism from long-term fans of the series, due to the introduction of a meter system and what that ended up entailing. The two major issues I feel the new mechanics brought, analyzing your opponent's habits and making the right call to turn the tide of the fight, which was present in every single DOA game up until this point. I didn't like this specifically for that reason, as it made interactions a lot more shallow. The second was the step dodge attack you could spend one bar of meter to use. making your character slip past any of your opponent's attacks and hitting them with a counter that sent them flying. Yet another mechanic that let players completely ignore any pressure enforced by the opponent, again dumbing down the interactions between two players. I believe their goal for accessibility should be to introduce mechanics that help players get started, and encourage them to learn more about the game to optimize their play. But in DOA 6, these new mechanics they introduced actively stop players from having to learn more about the game, making it a more shallow title compared to its predecessors. These are only my opinions though, as there seem to be a devout few who really do enjoy this game more than the others. Despite my feelings on the mechanics, I still had some fun back then playing around with this game casually, and even during the making of this video, I spent hours and hours playing online with others. It's not as deep as previous titles, and dropped out cool features like cliffhangers from DOA 5, but the look and feel of the game still offers some level of satisfaction despite the shortcomings. What isn't satisfying, however, is everything else the game had to offer on top of the watered down gameplay, which I believe was the combination that ultimately killed it in the eyes of many long-term fans, and anyone who had some slight interest in playing the game. Characters weren't...
I'm gonna go get my cuts. Let's play the music right first. I think I just wanted to set it to complete the story. He's right there. There's another stone. What says this? Even if one day Vanadil were to vanish from the universe as we know it. Trials you endured in Sandoria, the pain, the anger, the tears, and the laughter. Those memories will forever remain in your heart and never fade. Until the end. The end of time. Oh, whoops. Let's go put up our new flag on it. Don't I have the upstairs? You built that wall. Okay. Face it. I'll keep my flags upstairs. My flags to represent my nation and myself. My World Fun Fantasy flags. Where'd my flag go? Oh, it's right there. It took a fucking minute to load. What about the layout? No, I don't get the layout option. What the F? I don't know. I think I'm actually gonna get that one. I don't want to be up too late. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. I got rank 10. I'll get more. I'll probably start Winders. Where can I be a mentor? Never. What are the other one? Thank you for lurking. Thank you for chilling. Peace out. Peace out. Love you. Love you. Love you. Later. Take care of yourselves. Don't talk to strangers like me. Anyway, peace out. Love you. Bye.